Sonny, Joey, 500. Got some goats in the building.
Get ready for a shakedown.
Prepare for a shakedown. We from Philly where they clap like huddles when they break down. Get ready for a shakedown. We underdogs, my guy. Kinda used to all the hate now. Prepare for it, man. Y'all get it. My QB got swag. My wideout is award winning. His fly was fly. Joey and 500. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Here's a quote you can sing back. Shake squad up and don't be a dingbat. It's a shakedown.
Don't you frown. Here comes the shakedown. Let's go. Yo, by the way, Cake Dingbat here. Welcome to Shakes and the Fat Man. Coming this summer. I saw that. I see everything. Welcome to another Food Shakedown podcast. What is going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. Joey, what is happening, my man?
No, man. I feel like we haven't talked in a while. We were supposed to do the shakedown last night. We had some scheduling stuff going on. So
yeah,
we decided to do it today. So obviously, like, not crazy amount of stuff going on, but definitely some things to talk about, though, no doubt.
Yeah. I had a blood test. I had to go get blood done and blood work done. I didn't get back to kind of late, so it was just better to start and do it today. But
right.
That's why I couldn't wait. It was really like the only time I could go do it, so I had to get it done. What's going on, everybody? Cue Ball the Bird, welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Tanya Brown, thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it so much. Shout out to you. What's going on, everybody? Philly Nation 307's here. Shane is here. Tanya's here. Who else? Joey's here. Joe's here, Jeffrey's here, Brian, South Jersey, Anthony, James, Wombat, Brian. A lot of you guys are here. We thank you guys so much for being here.
Shit.
Jacob, Jaden, call me Fat Ass 500. I see everything, but it is what it is, man. Dave Dust, what is going on, man? What's up with you? And oh God, let's just jump right into it. Dave Dust, let's talk about it. Joey, my wife said your name in her sleep last night. Is there something you need to tell me? I think Joey's putting out a code. Look at the girl behind him. He's already scamming on that wife in the background. That woman in the background, he's already scamming on her. Joey, man. Well, I don't know about you, man.
This shit's never going to end.
You're never going to live it down. That was such a funny thing. That was so funny. You know? But yeah, man. It's been, we're getting into that time where, they're going through their OTAs and everybody's seeing them do drills. And I look, I don't really get too excited about the drills without the pads. I get caught up in the great catch during training camp, during practice. But I mean, the guys aren't even in pads right now or anything, but they're going through their OTAs and stuff like that. It's kind of cool to see. AJ Brown, we all saw he almost got hit by a car. That's kind of crazy. That was scary. But I mean, really ain't not too much going on, man, in terms of we're at that time where June 1st is going to hit. Howie's going to get ready to make some sort of move. And it's coming. It's just a matter of what is it going to be.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of because there's gonna be those June 1st, post June 1st, maybe trades, cuts, stuff like that. Guys that sign late, these are the guys, that are in free agency that have been waiting really, till these rosters kind of line up, and some of these free agents that are trying to guarantee themselves a starting job. And there's guys out there that the Eagles have interest in. So
right. Twits, what's going on, buddy? How are you, my man? Good for you to be here. So, let me ask you this. If you had to look at one position right now on the Eagles and where we're at, what position do you think would be the most likely position they would add to?
I think linebacker. I think we really don't know. Like, obviously, we think Nakobe Dean is going to be a great player, okay? And I think my gut feeling is telling me he's going to be, but a lot of people aren't really high on Nicholas Morrow, and low risk, high reward move. 116 tackles last year, but obviously a really bad Bears defense. But that's guys like Patrick Queen that could fit in immediately. Isaiah Simmons. There's guys out there you can make trades for, and I think if you add one more move, one more guy at linebacker, I think you're set. I mean, there's other rumors at defensive end as well, which you'll get into, but yeah, I think linebacker may be it.
So you think it would more likely come from a somebody that shakes off after June 1st, or do you think it would come for like a move, like a trade for like a Patrick Queen or something like that?
I think more likely a free agent. I mean, I think mostly I don't know what, I mean, depending who you're trading for and how much is it going to cost, for picks next year. And I forget, because obviously we spent some picks. We know we're getting compensatory picks back as well for next year in 24. Yeah. So I think likely to look at the free agent market first, and then, maybe, jot it down to a trade. Maybe I think more of a free agent move though.
Yeah. Malik says 500. How much do you follow? I follow the Sixers all the time. I watch every game. Unfortunately, I usually get home from work about like 6 o'clock, and it's already the fourth quarter. So I usually DVR a lot of them because I get the package, the NBA package through DirecTV. But if I was ever doing this full time, I would stream every Sixers game. But until that day comes, I just can't cover the Sixers. I just don't have the time. It's just too hard, and I don't feel right about streaming one game in the playoff and then skipping 2 games and streaming one. I don't like doing that to people. So, yo, long way, David Super Chat. He goes, if it wasn't for injury, would you all still take Swift over Penny? It's a great question. I mean,
well, if there was no injury, his price would be more expensive.
Well, what about this though? If you're going to say there's no injury to Penny, then or can we assume that Swift didn't have injury problems either? Because if you take them both just from a talent perspective, I'll take Swift
over Penny, and
because I think I think he can do more in the receiving game. So if we're saying Penny's not going to be hurt, then or can we say that about Swift? Because I think Swift in the past has been hurt by the same things as Penny, just not to the same level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
But I think if Penny's healthy, though, I think he could be a top back in this league. I think top 12, top 10 to 12 back. I think Swift can be a top 5 back. So that would be my answer. Yeah. Anton, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, guys, my girlfriend has been crushing on Sidney Brown big time. Yeah, you should be very worried. Be very worried. I'm starting to wish we drafted a different safety. Haha. Yeah. The question is are you're not going to take her to any like training camp or anything like that, right? No, like rookies night or something like that. No training camp. Keep her away. You're in trouble. You may be in big trouble. Big trouble. Let's see here. Malik says Jimmy Butler is his mom. Oh. Listen, every time I watch Jimmy Butler, it makes me sick. Makes me sick. I don't want to talk much basketball, but I'll say that the Sixers would have 2 championships if they didn't let Butler go. It was the biggest mistake that they made, besides not taking.
There's so much going on, dude. Like I really like Embiid's attitude is just like, I feel like every time they lose a game, he's got excuses. He blames the rest of the team. He throws the team under the bus. Harden don't like Doc.
Did you think he threw, like I didn't feel like Embiid threw the people like anybody under the bus. I think he was just answering a question. But my thing is people want to. I am not trading Embiid. That's crazy talk to me. Like what are you going to trade Embiid for? What, and then go to what, and then what are you going to become, the A seed every year like we were for 30 years? Embiid is somebody I still believe can win, but you got to get the right guys around him. You need a stone cold killer. You need Jimmy Butler. You need Jimmy Butler on this team, and they let him go.
Well, and I think another thing too, when you had Jimmy Butler, you had like accountability on the court too, because he gave you tough love on the court, and that's kind of like how what PJ Tucker did to Embiid that game in the playoffs. Remember, he went up to him and was like, "Dude, I know you can play better than this. Why are you stinking up right now?" Like you need that accountability type player, and they don't have that. They don't.
I mean, I think. Listen, Embiid did not have a good Game 7, and it's very disappointing. And I'm not going to make excuses for the way he played, but I look at that Atlanta series, and they had no closer. I thought the Game 6 versus Boston, nobody stepped up to close the game. Yeah. You had a guy like Jimmy Butler who's a closer, a stone cold killer. You win those series, just in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that the biggest mistake that they made and what ruined everything was letting Jimmy Butler out the door. I would have fired Brett Brown in a second. I'd have got rid of everybody, but there's no way Butler would have gone.
If you're blowing up the team, you're trading Embiid. I mean, if that's your plan.
But then what are you going to do? But see, then you have to go back to the tank, in my opinion, because you've got to get top-notch guys. You're going to be an A seed every year and never get a good enough player. I just think I'm not ready to blow it up with Embiid yet. I just think that they got to find the right guys.
I mean, who knows if Daryl Morey's good for the job? I mean, that question at his remember his press conference. Even somebody asked him, kind of put him on the spot, like, well, if you have the power to get a head coach fired, what makes you think your job is safe? What makes you think that you've been doing a great job the past 2 years because they've been getting these ex-Houston players and that he used to be around? And unfortunately with James Harden, I'm sorry, but as soon as that trade went down, when we ended up getting him, I knew he wasn't the same player. I think we all kind of knew that. I think everybody was excited, but
I'm sorry. I don't care what people say about Harden. Harden don't come up big in the playoffs, dude.
No,
it's just been his way. Butler's the exact opposite. The Dan Cilio show. What up, Dan Cilio in the house, in the chat? What's up, Dan? This Philly, my man. Love the show. Always rooting for your success, brother. Right back at you, my man. Right back at you. Thank you so much for your support and coming in, man. I appreciate that. Definitely. Thank you. Kinda high. Thank you for super chat. Joey, this question's for you. Do you know my wife? Go Birds.
What's her name? No, just kidding.
That's a yes. That's a yes. If you see him go like this, he's telling her to leave.
Yeah.
Frank Watson, thank you for super chat. He goes, Mike Morris is a chump. Said the Eagles are a system offense. Every offense has a system. They just don't realize our system is the shiz. Mike Morris. Forget him. I ain't worried about Mike Morris. He said the Eagles had the fourth best offense. I think the 49ers he had above them. I still don't understand how you can have a 49ers offense above them when you don't have a quarterback. Who's their quarterback?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, really, everybody's really writing Brock Purdy in as the guy? I mean, I know he played good as a rookie, but come on. The guy's elbow fell off.
You got to give it more than a year, though. You have to give that more than a year, too. Like, you can't just go off of statistics from 1 year, but at least with Jalen Hurts, we had a building process. Like, he was thrown to the fire in 2020, didn't really play fantastic, but 21 came and, there was promise. There was a buildup of promise going into 22, and look what he did.
Yeah. Yeah. Gentlemen of culture, over under 1,100 yards for Goddard. Over under 11. I'm going to say that's tough. I'm going to say under.
Yeah.
I'm going to say under.
Same.
And here's why I'm going to say under, because I believe you have A.J. Brown, 1,300 yards. Devontae Smith, 13, 14. I think Devontae Smith is going to go off.
Yeah.
I think Devontae Smith will be the best receiver on this team this year. I think he will be a top 5 receiver in this league. And that's saying we're taking nothing away from A.J. Brown. So I just wonder how many balls that you have to go around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You only have so many balls to go around, Joey. Joey knows all about that with all them wives. Believe me.
Damn it.
Anton, thank you for super chat. Goes, Big Seals, if you're still in here, no Jerome Brown, the top 10 Eagles all time? Come on, man. What do you mean no Jerome Brown on the top 10? Did he not put him on the top 10? Well, I have to talk to Dan about this one. Jerome Brown, top 10. I have to think about that because, see, it's always hard for me to talk about guys I never saw, Like my dad will talk about Tommy McDonald, he'll talk about Chuck McNair. I never got to see those guys play, But I did see Jerome Brown play,
Yeah.
So it's tough. But that's interesting. I'll have to ask him, Buzzology says, I agree. Jimmy Buckets was a huge mistake to let go. Embiid ain't the guy. I don't trust the 7-foot dude with a 6-foot vertical. Thing is the combination of Buckets with Embiid is what would have worked. I think it was such a great it was such a great pairing. You've got to find somebody that can be a closer with 3-4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You
True.
just do. You know, Sills and 500 used to be rivals. Now they're friends like Apollo and Rocky. I've never been nothing but friends with Dan. I love Dan. Dan's great.
You know, the people act like, you know, if you have a difference with somebody like over sports, like it means that you don't like each other. Like it's just that everyone has opinions. Like there are things that me and 500 don't agree on. There's things out there that we don't agree on, but we don't, you know, it doesn't affect anything else. Like it's just talk at the end of the day. So
yeah, I mean, you're not going to always agree on everything, but you should be able to debate it, you know, and then you know, people can decide who they agree with, who they don't, and you go on your way. There's nothing wrong with that. James says, talk about the great Jim Brown, Philly. Oh, Jim Brown. I mean, I never saw Jim Brown play. I will say this, you know, obviously rest in peace to him. I can tell you this, that in my house, we used to argue. Me and my dad would have arguments. Who's the best running back? And he said Jim Brown. I would say Barry Sanders. I never saw Jim Brown play. My dad would tell you Jim Brown's not only the best running back, but was the best football player he's ever seen. So, you know, the thing about both of those guys is they both left early. Like they both had a lot left and they both left early, you know. So I don't know. You know, I wish I would have seen Jim Brown play. Clark Davis Super Chat goes, hey, yo, what's up, Joey and 500? Just back from the beach day. Oh, very cool. What beach did you go? Yo, long way. Davis Super Chat. He goes, who's the odd man out on the D-line? Derek Barnett.
No.
Bye-bye, Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett is not making this roster. Dude.
No?
I'm convinced. Well, how's he going to make it? He ain't going to make it. He stinks.
I'm only saying he's going to be here because of depth, and it's just depth purpose. That's all it's going to be.
Hey, if you need somebody to go off sides with 3 minutes left in the game and you can't give the other team a first down, Derek Barnett is your guy. If you need that personal foul to give the team another,
He'll give you
Derek Barnett's your guy.
Right.
I don't think he's going to make it. And here's the thing. We were talking earlier about, you know, possible positions. I personally think they're going to bring in another defensive lineman. I think they're going to bring in another defensive end. I think a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, and I did a video on him before. I think that kind of guy is still out there. 9.5 sacks last year. Guy rotates in with that defensive line would be perfect, right? You talked about Floyd. He's out there still. Yeah. And then, you know, I think we bring up what's his face's name every year.
Clowney's still out there.
Clowney every year, and they don't do it.
Frank Clark is still out there.
Frank Clark. So why not bring another defensive lineman in to rotate in with those guys? That to me, that screams of a Howie Roseman type move. You know, so that's what I think. That's where I think they would go. And if they do that, I don't know if Barnett makes it, dude. I don't know if he's going to make it. He stinks. I think he gets cut. Maybe he gets traded, you know?
I mean, is Patrick Johnson going to play better than him? I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but.
Yep. James says, Barry Sanders' dad said Barry was behind Jim Brown. His dad did. His dad did. That's right. Barry Sanders' father was always said that. Yeah, he always said that. I only seen highlights of Jim Brown, so, you know, it's hard to say. Nigel, thank you for Super Chat, man. Appreciate it. It doesn't say anything, but thank you so much. So, you know, it would be interesting. Next Shift says, I want Yannick. So I think Yannick would be a perfect player to bring in. I think he'd be even cheaper than Floyd. He obviously wanted to be an Eagle before. 9.5 sacks last year. And I think he's more of a defensive end than like an outside linebacker. So I think he would fit that role, you know. I think he would be a great pickup for the Eagles.
Yeah, he produces every year. I mean, Floyd too. He had 9.5.
Yeah, he had 9 sacks. Ngakoue had 9.5. I mean, those guys are still guys that are producing. If you could get those guys in to rotate on that defensive line, I think that would go a long way, you know.
Oh yeah.
And if you get that, I don't see how Barnett makes the team. I don't see how he makes the cut. You know, so it's going to be interesting. You know. 500 having his own show on Jacob Media would be fire. Ooh, you have to tell them that. I have no control over that. I'm just here doing my thing. Dwight says 500. How about them Dallas Cowboys? We about to sweep the NFC East. I can't wait to play your damn pigeon. How the hell does do Dallas Cowboy fans look at their team and go, "Oh yeah, we're gonna beat the Eagles"? I mean, I think you guys, if anything, lost ground. I mean, you did all right. Cooks is fine. I thought Gilmore all right, but I don't know. Dallas doesn't.
Dude, Deuce Vaughn is getting hyped up like crazy.
Oh, Deuce Vaughn was their best pick. That's why, because he was the best draft.
Yeah.
You remember, Joey? Come on, man. We were.
I remember that chat. The chat.
We were doing a draft, and they showed the war room in the Cowboys when Buffalo jumped them, and it's like this. They're all like this. Red light comes on. They were so depressed.
It was true, though, yeah.
It's true. It is. And then half the fans, when they heard Smith, they thought they got Nolan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we got Nolan Smith. And then he goes to the Eagles. You can't make that up. I don't think the Cowboys – I mean, I think the Cowboys got marginally better because I do think Cooks will help if he stays healthy. I do think Gilmore helps. But I don't think it's nearly enough to compete with the Eagles.
No.
You know, I don't. Gabriel Davis super chat goes, do you think Howie brings back Sue for? Oh, that's a great question. What is your thoughts on Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah, I mean he's not looking to sign. He's looking to sign later on, maybe. I mean he's ring chasing right now. I expect that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. I mean,
if he's ring chasing, we know he's not going to Dallas. Shots fired, boom, baby. Boom. I'm coming right after you guys. We're coming for the meats. Yeah, he might be waiting. You know what, he did it last year. Why not do it again? Well, there's a chance then he comes back. You know,
true.
Nigel says, "What's up, Joey? 500. Life's been good. I can't complain. You know,
good.
I can't complain." Landlord from Wakanda, thank you for super chat. He goes, Dallas better at every position except for center and defensive tackle too. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. Eagles, better quarterback. Eagles, better offensive line. Better wide receivers. Better tight end. Better group of running backs. Much deeper running back than Dallas. Better defensive tackles. Better defensive ends. I'll give you Parsons over Hassan Reddick. Mm-hmm. I'll give you linebackers. Corners, I'm going to say the Eagles because the Eagles can give you 3 good corners, right? Dallas has 2 good corners. I think the Eagles have 3 good corners. Right. I'll say Dallas. I'll give Dallas safety. That's it. The Eagles pretty much win every category. So what are you talking about? They're better at pretty much every position than Dallas. Your receivers are not better than the Eagles receivers. Your tight end is not better than the Eagles tight end. Your running back group is not better than the Eagles. You do not have a better offensive line. I do not think you have a better defensive line. And you definitely don't have better corners.
I agree with all that. Yeah. I agree.
Hurts not better than Dak. On what planet are you on? What do you mean he's not better than Dak? He's way better than Dak. He could win a Super Bowl. I can look at what Hurts did, and I know what he did in Super Bowl. I know that this guy can win you a Super Bowl. I don't know that Dak can get you out of the second round of the playoffs. You know? Linda says, you will not give them Parsons over Reddick. Uh-oh. Average 13 sacks over past 3 seasons track record. All right, fair. Look, you're not going to have to convince me, but I had to throw them a bone. Otherwise, it would be too obvious. Yeah. Come on. How could Dak be? I don't know, and I'm serious. How could Dak be better than Jalen Hurts at this point? I don't even get it. Philly Fire, you don't believe what you just said. I believe it thoroughly. 100,000. I wouldn't have said it. Believe me, I wouldn't have said it. Cowboys defense is scared. We have the best secondary in NFL, hands down.
God.
What are you talking about?
You guys are weird.
Come on, man. Come on. Diggs gives up a lot of yards. He gives up a lot of yards, right? And Gilmore's what, 35 years old? Come on, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
rental. They got a rental for a year. They got one.
We're throwing out 3 good corners right at you. We're throwing out Bradbury, Slay, and Maddox in the slot. I don't know. Don't get back. I'll give you the safeties because I think we do have a hole of safeties. I'll even give you the linebackers. But that's the only 2 positions that you're better than us. And that's and as Linda said, that's up for debate.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Eagles landed. Hurts has been a Super Bowl. That can't get past the division round. Listen, the only reason Hurts does not have a ring is because the Eagles couldn't get the ball back. Do you really think? Let's say the Eagles get the ball. Let's say Kansas City, there's no penalty. You have Bradbury, doesn't get called. They kick a field goal. They go up 3. There's what, minute 46 left? Do you really believe that Hurts ain't going down there and winning that game? I'm telling you right now, he's winning that game. Yeah. It's over.
I believe it.
When it comes to Prescott, in the big games and the big moments, he doesn't show up, and Dallas makes excuses for him every year. He's going to what, his 8th or 9th year? Man, we're talking about a guy who has less wins. Jalen Hurts has more playoff wins than him.
Yeah, I mean, a 2-year starter. I mean, you're talking about a guy, a 2-year starter already in the Super Bowl already.
Yeah, I don't think it at all. Paul Ferrer, David Super Chat goes, D Jackson, the slot, $1 million contract. All right, so this is interesting because this has come up, and I've debated whether I wanted to even talk about it or not. But I'll bring it up for this show. By the way, we have 438 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, click the link in the description. Sub up my man Joey if you're on my channel. Sub both of us up. Hit the like button. We love you guys, and we are really happy you're here. D-Jax says that he wants to retire an Eagle. He might not be done yet. Would you bring Deshaun Jackson back? That's my question to you.
If he's like a situational guy, yeah. Because I don't think he's not gonna. I think he wants to be more of a starter. I mean, I don't think he's going to take a backup role. I don't think he's just going to play special teams. I don't think the Eagles are really high on bringing him back anyway. I don't, unless he takes some type of, he's not a main focal point type role. Yeah, we've already kind of went through this already, and he's got an injury history really bad, like he couldn't stay healthy. He's another guy that's waiting to get on a team later in the season. He might not even sign soon. He might sign later in the season for a team that's going to the playoffs. I would love for him as a returner. I would love for him to do something, but is he going to accept like getting paid less and having somewhat of a non-significant role? Probably not. But
I would stay away. I'm done. It's not because I want to. If he wants to retire as an Eagle when he's ready, definitely. But man, I can't go through the he plays like 1 game and he's out for 8 games. Like when he came back the second time, he was always hurt. I just think he's too old. I don't know how much he's going to help us. Now, $1 million contract like was put out there. Maybe, but I would rather go with somebody younger, to be honest with you, because even if Deshaun gives you 1 game, how many games can he really give you until he pulls a hamstring or he's hurt or he's injured? I just think he's a little too old at this point.
Yeah.
Landlord of Wakanda, thank you for a super chat. He goes, PFF disagrees with you and they are Eagles biased. Well, PFF and me don't agree with a lot. But I will say that I don't know what you're talking about because I was looking at the grading of the offseason. They gave the Eagles an A. They gave Dallas a B-. So I don't know where they would disagree with me. But if they disagree with me, then that means I'm probably right because I think they're wrong a lot of times. Jameson Smith Davis super chat. He goes, these chicks driving me crazy. Help Joey. I got to be careful what I say because I will get throttled. I know what you said.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
I will get throttled. But Joey, what are these chicks doing to you, man?
I don't know.
Joey's like James Bond when YouTube's off.
Okay.
Davis super chat. He goes, correction, we have 4 good corners. Ringo's a stud. Why, Johnny Ringo? Well, we'll see what Ringo is. Do you think he'll be used at corner? Do you think they'll move him to safety.
I hope they cross train him. They should cross train somebody. I hope they cross train him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Wombat says if Djax is willing to return punts and maybe bring him in every now and then to go get some balls. I mean, the last time he returned, remember he returned a punt. He came back. What? He came back the first year. He came back. He pulls his hamstring, tries a rehab for 8 weeks, comes out, plays Chicago, 1 series, decides to get surgery, done. The following year he comes back, he gets hurt again, comes back in the Giants game, and it was a cheap shot, but on a punt return he gets hurt. He's done pretty much for the year.
Yeah, right.
I just think he's too old. I don't know.
He can't take those big hits. You can't take a big hit anymore.
You know, when you get older, you know, your body don't respond the same way. Believe me, I'm learning. You just don't. I would stay clear of Deshaun Jackson. That's just my
100%. I wouldn't even touch
Philly
it.
by day says, I think Greedy Williams will be a surprise signing all season. He's the guy at least I keep forgetting about, that we even signed him. Like that's how many good signings Howie has done and how much has happened on this roster. Yeah, Greedy Williams may be a total surprise for us. No doubt.
Yeah, I think somewhat they could revive his career if he, you know, I think there could be a possible idea they could revive his career. Maybe, you know, I thought it was a good signing for someone that's like a low risk, high reward move. Like, what is he going to do? You know, competition wise because really depth at corner is really kind of what I'm looking at now. You know, with some of the undrafted guys like Eli Ricks, you know, what's up?
You're never gonna live this down. Paul Federer, thank you for super chat. He goes, Djax better than Ham Hands Quez. Ham Hands Quez. You mean Quez Dropkins? I listen, if he can stay healthy, but do you want to risk that the guy plays 4 games and he's hurt? That's what I worry about, you know. But I get it. This is what I was referring to. Joey's out here changing lives and stealing why. Never gonna live it down.
T-shirt. Okay.
Oh, well, speaking of that, we should show you guys Joey's latest merchandise. You can get this now. This is for your woman, Mother's Day, Ladies' Day, whatever. Get your Joey Makes Me Shake shirts right now for all that beautiful woman in your life. Make sure you get it. Joey Makes Me Shake. I love it. It's so great. David says Dak $59.5 million. Hurts $13.5 in 2024. Will Dak still be on the Dallas roster? That's a great question. Will he even be on the Dallas roster in a year or two? I don't know. Joe says we love Djax, but he comes back to retire as an Eagle and be done with it. That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know he could stay healthy. You know. But, I mean, listen, maybe he can. I don't know. I do think you need to try to figure something out in the return game, especially. If you need to find somebody that can return punts. But how old is Deshaun Jackson right now anyways?
34, 35.
Is he 34? I mean, maybe like he's younger than I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's like 35 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, 35 years old. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
I don't even want to deal with it.
He's 36.
Yeah, dude. Nah.
He's 36 years old.
Nah.
Hey, no, he's one hamstring away from blowing everything out. I don't know he can play at 36, man.
No.
I mean,
he can play. He could play, but I'm just done with the experiment. I'm just done with it. Like, why? Like, for what?
Yeah. Swift be lucky to get 800 yards rushing. Swift will get 800 yards running backwards with his eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
When you got the size of holes paws as this offensive line is going to give, he's not going to have any problem. But you don't just have Swift. You got to deal with Swift. You've got to deal with Penning. Then you got to deal with Boston Scott. You got to deal with what's his face, Kenneth Gainwell. Then you got to deal with Hurts himself running. It's a much deeper running back core than it was a year ago. and it's better. Teddy says 500. If we did a swimsuit calendar of Eagles YouTubers, what month would you be, and what month would Joey be? I want December.
Mm-hmm.
I want December. I'll be in my bathing suit with just my Christmas hat on.
Well, obviously mine would be October. I mean, everybody should guess that one.
Joey will have a giant knife. Giant knife. Gabriel, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. I think people sleep on the fact that Jordan Davis might unlock his true potential with Carter here. Having friends by you elevates your game tenfold. Thank you for the super chat. I think, especially from like an influence standpoint, I think he's going to help Jalen Carter a lot. But I think that, I think Jordan Davis has all the talent in the world. I just think he really just was not in shape last year. And I think he has a lot to learn. And we're going to see what kind of jump he makes, but from the pictures that I've seen of him, like, at the NovaCare, he looks like he's thinned down. So I'd see if I have, I might have that one picture. I'll show you guys if you guys haven't seen it, if I have it here. Let me see. Okay, so here's a picture of draft. I guess the day after the draft when Smith and Carter came to visit, he was at the NovaCare. Now, if you look at Jordan Davis in the middle, he looks 25 pounds lighter.
320.
I even sent this picture to Dan Cilio. He looks 20 pounds lighter. He looks like he's thinned up a lot. Now, if he's in shape, this is scary. That's a scary unit right there, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
Yeah. I like what the person said. Like it's going to elevate his game. I mean, even they play next year, your good friend, and a lot of these guys,
yeah,
be good.
Yeah, exactly. Let me try to catch up to his chat here. Yeah, Davis looks like he's in good shape. And if he's in good shape and he's not, I mean, dude, he was like 1-2 plays, he was sucking wind. If he can be in better shape and better condition, and then he can work on his rush, his pass rush, and become a better pass rusher. He doesn't need 8-9 sacks a year, but if he could get you 5 sacks a year with everything else that he's going to do, take on the double team, and be able to stop the run, and he's going to, how are you going to double team him and then Jalen Carter? It's scary,
Right.
So I think it's going to be awesome. Wheels, thank you for super chat. He goes, Dak is going to get teabagged by our D-line. Yes, agreed. Mr. Wing said he's definitely slimmed down. Yeah, I agree. He looks good. Let's see. There's no excuse for these pros getting paid millions to be overweight. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I think what happened with him coming out of college, well, he was like wasn't he like 360 in the national championship
360, 365.
Yeah, in the national championship game. Then he lost a lot of weight, like 20 pounds, just to get in shape for the combine. And then he got in shape for combine. Then it kind of fluctuated again, And then by the time he got to training camp, he was like, I think it was like 340 something. So he just wasn't. He just wasn't conditioned. He was rushing. Now with a full season, work with the strength coaches, the strength and conditioning coaches. I'm sure they tell him what they want him to be weight wise, working out there. I think the off season after your rookie year and becoming a rookie, I think it changes. He's got a whole year now to dedicate to that, and that's what we're going to see. To me, we're going to see this year what he does. He doesn't have to be perfect this year, but I expect to see a lot more from him. And the biggest thing I expect him to be able to do is be out in the field and be in good condition, at the very least,
Yeah, true.
Anton, thank you for super chat. He goes, rank the Eagles Bulldogs 1 through 6. This includes Swift. Man, that's really tough. I'll say 1, Jalen Carter. 1, Jalen Carter. I'm going to say 2.
What?
I'm going to say, I'm going to say Jordan Davis. I'm going to give Jordan Davis the credit because I believe he's that guy. 3, Nolan Smith. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to say 3, DeAndre Swift because I think Swift would be a top 5.
Yeah.
4, I'll say 4, I'll say Nolan Smith. 5, I'll say Nakobe Dean, and then 6, I'll say Ringo.
Yeah.
So that's how I'll do it. And thank you for super chat. And the thing is, when it comes to Nakobe Dean, I mean, to me, he's the great mystery for me because I think he's going to be really good, but I have to see him play. Like I have to see him play, but I think he could be way better than we realize. Yeah,
it's not enough. Like I understand, like in our gut feeling that he's going to play really well, but we haven't seen much of anything. We've seen sample sizes last year, and that's as far as we've gotten with him. So I mean, preseason last year, he was decleating people, and then preseason, I mean,
Well, the one game I forget the game. Who did he play? He played a bunch of. He played one game. Didn't he have like 10 tackles or something like that?
Forgot what
game.
He had
one game where he was all over the place, and he from sideline to sideline, and you just go, "Oh yeah, this guy could play." So we'll see. I do think he needs to get a little bit bigger and stronger, though.
That's true.
So we'll see. Esmery DeBooth, what's going on? Oh, you missed S Blunt super chat. Okay, sorry about that. Let me see if I can find it. Did I miss it? Oh, here you go. Sorry about that, S Blunt. I apologize. S Blunt says predict a way too early 53-man roster prediction. Oh, I can't go through the whole 53-man roster right here. I have to start writing everything down. I will say I think they'll keep 3 quarterbacks. I think they'll keep 4 running backs, probably 3 tight ends, 4 or 5 wide receivers. 4 defensive tackles, maybe 5 if you get a swing to a guy like Scree who could play defensive end,
Right.
So we'll see. It's too. I'd have to get a paper and start writing it down. It would take me too long to answer. But what about you? Can you know off the top of your head?
No, because there's going to be a no name there's going to be, we don't know the undrafted guy, between the undrafted guys, like especially offensive line, we don't know who else they might be bringing in later on. I mean, there's a lot more that could happen between now and middle of training camp and joint practices. So
yeah,
we'll have.
That's right. It was Tennessee.
Yeah.
He arm tackled Derrick Henry. Let me see something really quick. Let me see something. I want to see what his statistics were in that game, because I could have sworn he had a big game, but I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't as big as I thought it was, but it just got overblown. That could be the case too. Let's see. Let's see stats. Oh, he had 9 solo tackles, 13 total. So that's all he had. He only had 13 total tackles.
Right.
And it doesn't tell you what games. It's not telling me what games. Let me see. Looking. He only had 1 tackle in that Tennessee game. No, he had 5 solos in that. He had 6 total tackles in that Tennessee game, 5 solo.
Yeah, I thought he had more, to be honest.
I did too, but that's because it was like we remember it was a bigger moment because we didn't see him pretty much all year.
Right.
It was that Tennessee game, yeah, it was. Phil, thank you for super chat. Appreciate it. You see Parsons working with a boxing coach, hits like a high school bitch. Parsons wants to be an Eagle. There's no doubt in my mind. And that must drive the Cowboys. That must drive them crazy if you're Cowboys. Can you imagine your best player secretly wants to play for your rivals? That must suck. That's hilarious. How's Nelson? What's up? He goes, yo, I'm doing anything back here. It's, yo, everybody doing.
Yo, by doing.
Yo, everybody doing. But you got to say it quick. Yo, everybody doing. The only one that gets it right is Bad Dog. Bad Dog does a pretty good job with it. Everybody else like, hey, sometimes I'll see in the chat, does anybody know what the hell he's saying?
If you're Italian, it helps. If you're Italian,
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. You have to be able to do this. Lonely says Jordan Davis got more playing time in the playoffs when it counts most. I have to go back and look at his playoff snaps and stuff. I mean, I thought the thing with Jordan Davis is I thought early on in the year, he just was gasping for air. Like 2 plays, he was
He almost
out.
got a sack in that Super Bowl. He was like,
Yeah.
he
But
was
then I
exploding.
thought, but when he did make an impact. Because
Yeah.
even if you look in that Washington game, he missed a sack on Carson Wentz. Carson ducked underneath him. He should have had him. That was what, week 2? And he gets double teamed. I mean, he's getting double teamed. He definitely helped the run. I thought he was starting to come along and starting to play really well. And then he hurt himself. He got that. It was an ankle injury or foot. I forget what it was. And then he missed all those games. And that's when we had to go get Joseph and we had to go get Sue because he was hurt. But I thought when he started to get his feet under him, I thought he was pretty dominant, dude. I was happy with him.
Yeah, definitely.
Adam says, I wouldn't give up on Barnett yet, Philly. He could be a late bloomer just like Brandon Graham was in his tenure with the Eagles. Adam, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate it. Hey,
I respect it, but
maybe you're right. I used to call Brandon Graham 5.5. Right? Because he's 55. I used to call him 5.5 because I was like, he's always good for 5.5 sacks. And then he was a late bloomer. He was. So maybe Derek Barnett can be. I don't know. The thing with the Derek Barnett thing is just that when he came out, everybody was saying that he was going to be like Reggie White because he broke all his records. And remember all that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Philadelphia underdog. Philadelphia's the man. He's here. At Cowboys fan, this ain't the 70s and 90s no more. Y'all better watch how you talk to nowadays. This ain't back in the days. That's right. And most of the people that talk about the 70s and 90s never lived in the 70s and 90s and seen their team even win. So, listen, you could keep bragging about, hey, we got 5 rings. But if you've never seen your team win 1 ring, what's it really matter? Like, at least the young Eagle fans can say, I saw my team win 1 ring, So, I don't know. Stephon Gilmore is A.J. Brown's kryptonite. Well, who's going to stop Devontae Smith? Diggs? Diggs gives up too much yards. He's going to have a problem with Devontae. You can't stop them all. And are you going to stop Devontae Smith? Are you going to stop A.J. Brown? You're going to stop Goddard? How are you going to stop all of them? It's too much. It's too much coming at you. You're going to be overwhelmed and overrun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth. Josh, and that's if I even agree that Gilmore's his kryptonite, which I don't. What is Gilmore, 35, 36? What happens 35, 36-year-old corners, right? You know what happens to corners, 35, 36? Oh, my hamstring. What happens? Same thing with Deshaun Jackson. It's exactly why I don't want Deshaun Jackson back. Because that's what happens when you're that age. You can't keep up. He'll wind up being hurt half his games. You watch. And it'll be like a hamstring or it'll be like a groin. You watch. Josh Fever says, Miles Jack and chill. What about Miles Jack? Would you be interested in him?
I mean, as like a tryout for camp, like that's as far as I go with it. See if he actually shows up. I mean, he hasn't really played the past couple of years, but then another side of it is he really in the best situation too? So I mean, I'm not fork loading him any money, even on a cheap deal. I'm not fork loading him any money. Like I'm going to give him a tryout and just see how he does throughout camp. That's as far as I really go with it with Miles Jack. But
I'd bring him in. I bring him and give him a tryout.
Yeah.
Why not? Firing on all cylinders says, I'm really excited to see our running back out of the backfield. Sanders didn't catch much on flat, but Swift is a beast at it. Well, I think your people are really. I believe this. I believe when we go into the next, end of next year, I think people are going to be crying for Swift to come back.
Yeah,
because I think Swift is going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to be top 5 back, and I think one of the ways that they're going to use him is in that passing game, and that gives our whole offense a whole new element, a whole new weapon we didn't have last year because we like firing all cylinders saying we didn't have a back out of the backfield catching balls. DeAndre Swift can do that for you.
I mean, Gainwell could do it, but it's just his skill set's not enough. Like you can get a better skill set player as they have two of them now, but at least one to catch out of the backfield.
Think about how many times last year during like our post games where we talked about like, geez, man, if they would just throw the screens to the running back sometimes out of the backfield
instead of Devontae Smith, and it's
and it was there, but they didn't do it. I hope they take advantage of that part of Swift's game, you know. And I don't want to take anything from Rashad Penny. I don't. I think he's a very good back if he can stay healthy. I just think DeAndre Swift, dude. I just think he's gonna. I think he's Agent Zero. That's it. Agent Zero gonna strike. Zero. Anton David Super Chat goes, Eagle fans born since 2000 have seen 7 championship games. Cowboy fans 0. Exactly. And so how can those fans that have seen 0 try to talk about the 5 championships they've never seen? That's always my question. Like, does it really matter? Like you know, you could talk about the Eagles 3 championships before Super Bowl. I never saw any of them. You know, doesn't matter. Linda says, yeah, and Jalen Hurts had not been born yet since Dallas been to the Super Bowl. That's true too. Jeez,
crazy.
Yeah. Big Dog says Nakobe Dean looks. Yeah, he does look a little bigger too. He looks a little. I saw him on a podcast. I thought that. Yeah, I thought he looked a little bigger too.
Pause.
That's what you want. Paul, definitely pause. We pause all the way. That's like a minute pause. Menopause.
So he was bigger than the other guy? No.
Yo. Oh, yo.
Yeah, look at Dallas Goedert. He looked jacked too.
Pause. Yeah. I'm feeling weird now.
In shape.
500. You forget about Josh Sweat? No, I'm not forgetting about Josh Sweat. I think Josh Sweat is going to be good too. I mean, he's obviously a starter. So I think Sweat is I think he's a double-digit guy, sack guy. I think he could do that again, you know. So Sweat's going to be great. I think Sweat has gotten better and better each year, and I expect him to keep playing well, you know. The question I really wonder is Brandon Graham, can he play at his age? Can he play at the same level he played at last year? Because he had his best year of his career, you know. And that's another reason I think bringing in a guy like a Yannick Ngakoue or Floyd, somebody that can keep rotating in with those guys and staying fresh, you know, is a big deal. You know, CeeDee Lamb is better than Quez Watkins. He's not better than A.J. Brown, and he's definitely not better than Devontae Smith. That's the truth. The only reason he had more catches is because there was nobody else to throw the ball to. The Eagles had multiple receivers to throw to. This year with Cooks, I think that helps them until he gets hurt, which he will because he always does. And then I think Gallup should be a little bit better than he was a year ago. They don't have a tight end that scares me, and I'm not really scared of their running game. So I just think Dallas really, in my opinion, Joey, they need that DeAndre Hopkins move. They need the equivalent. They need the equivalent of the A.J. Brown move that the Eagles.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's what Dallas needs. They need that kind of move to really, in my opinion, make me have to say, okay, now you got something. You know, I do think I will say this: if what's his face, if Dalvin Cook does become a free agent and go to Dallas, I think that would be a significant move for Dallas.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But I think Dallas needs that. Or Devontae Adams, right? Dwight Clark is right. He says, "Hey, 500." Devontae Adams put CeeDee Lamb in his top 5. AJ Brown wasn't nowhere close to his list. Well, Devontae Adams, you know, he can say what he wants, but you know,
well, who cares what a player?
I don't care. I don't care what he says about that.
He wanted to go to the Raiders and thought they were in a Super Bowl reach. So trust me, whatever Devontae Adams says, I don't.
Yeah,
it means
when you say, oh, I'd rather play with Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers.
you got a problem. You got a problem.
Yeah. And he wants out. Now, if they could trade for Devontae Adams, something like to me, that's the kind of move I think the Cowboys really need. And I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
To really compete with the Eagles in the NFC East. I really feel like that. Like, I feel like if you look at San Francisco's a quarterback away. Like if you had a quarterback, if they had a quarterback, they would be our number one threat. But I just don't trust their quarterbacks, you know?
True.
The Cowboys are clearly what makes the Cowboys the class of the NFC East. The Eagles are the NFC Conference champions. You have to dethrone the champion first. You know? I don't think the Cowboys are as good as the Cowboy fans think they are. You know? What class? Kindergarten. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Lonely says, Mozzie Smith is a poor man's Jordan Davis. I have never seen a front office so disappointed in the first-round pick player that they had to take than Mozzie Smith. I don't care what anybody says. That war room in Dallas looked like they had just waved the white flag. They got totally hijacked by Buffalo. They jumped them and took the player that they wanted. I have no doubt about it.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing too, because there was like behind the scenes of like that pick too, and like they were like they didn't have like they didn't have like a guy that they wanted next man up mentality type pick. Like it was like we're choosing between these two players. I forgot who else. I had someone else on the board that they wanted, but they weren't really set in stone on who they were getting after Kincaid went. So they weren't set in stone. Obviously, that draft room, you saw what it looked like, and they looked like they couldn't figure it out till when it did. And
they were not prepared for somebody to come up and get their player over them. You know, that's the thing. Gilmore's 32, so he might be okay. He's not as old as I thought he was. So I and I do like the Stephon Gilmore pickup. I think it was a good pickup, and I don't even think the Brandon Cooks pickup is bad. I just think Dallas need another weapon. I don't think they have it. The Deuce Vaughn was their best pick in the whole draft, and you can tell by just the way they talked about him. And we don't even know how good he'll be yet. I think he'd be good. We'll see. Eagles landed. Says at 500 during the draft, Roger Goodell announced the Cowboys selected Mozzie Smith. Jerry James Jones said, "Who the F is Mozzie? I want to know." And that's hilarious, dude. It's funny because the Cowboy fans were celebrating, like Long Nation, like he thought they were drafted Nolan Smith. They were all excited because they thought they got Nolan Smith, and then they got Mozzie Smith. Now Mozzie Smith might be a good player for him, maybe. I'm not saying he's not. But the fact of the matter is, you can't tell me that they wanted the tight end. They got Buffalo came up and stole their guy. I'm convinced of it. You know, Deuce Vaughn is your Darren Sproles. Watch out. We'll see. Darren Sproles is a hell of a player. That's a hell of a thing.
Oh,
you know, we'll see.
Yeah, and you got to give it time too, because like I know it's just trash talk, but at the end of the day, it's like Deuce Vaughn's a late round pick. Like we've drafted running backs late. You know, even like who's the guy from San Diego State we drafted, and he broke Marshall Faulk's all-purpose yard record, and we got a little excited about it. And then he got to preseason, and the guy had the worst vision. And the guy got hurt all the time.
That dude looked like a deer in headlights. I forget his name.
That guy's name.
I can't remember. It's slipping my mind. And he was just like this.
I forgot his name.
And he couldn't.
Humphrey.
Move.
Thank you, Vape. Humphrey.
Yeah, Darnell Humphrey. And what about the kid that was? Do you remember the kid that was supposed to be this great special teams player?
AJ Killens.
No, the guy who was. He was also a skier. He was a skier, and he did like Olympic skiing, took a couple years off, came back. I think he went to like Colorado or something. And he was like this really great returner, and he was going to make our return game unbelievable. He stunk. So you just never know, you know. I listen. I'm not saying Mozzie's a bad pick. I'm not saying he's a bad player. What I'm saying is that's not how the Cowboys wanted.
Yeah,
that you were stuck with him because you allowed Buffalo to jump you. And all you have to do is go watch that war room. They are upset. I mean, you can see it. They're all just sitting there like this. And then the lights go on and like, You can go to Eagles war room. They're all standing up. They're all there. The players are in there. They're like, yeah, they're all excited. Howie's on the phone.
Dude,
it was a different atmosphere.
It was so funny. It was so funny because I remember we saw we watched the Eagles. I think it was the Nolan Smith bit. Look at that room. They're standing up. So look down. Yeah. You're like, now that's a room.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could tell,
positivity, man.
You could totally tell. And then the Dallas Cowboy fan, you have Mark Holmes. Hey friends, Mark Holmes. And he's like depressed. They're all depressed. And then like 2 days later, they basically brainwash themselves into believing that they're fine. It's hilarious.
Even when we put up that Mark Holmes stream, like they weren't happy. Like they just made an excuse on why they picked a run-stuffing defensive tackle like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, it's for Micah Parsons, and
we didn't go. Oh my God, Dallas just got Mozzie Smith. Oh my gosh! But the Dallas Cowboy fans, they did that when we drafted Nolan Smith. Yes, it's Torrey. That's right, Jeremy Bloom. How can I forget Jeremy Bloom? Yeah. He was a skier. He was supposed to be, he stunk. So you don't know. We'll see what Vaughn is. Anton, thank you for Super Chat. Goes, Cowboy fans must all have dementia. It's really sad. It's when it happens when you sacrifice that many chickens. Boston going down 3-0. I'm sure they will.
We got a member chat from Dank Burrito, member for 24 months, says it's unfinished business season. Go Birds.
Go Birds is correct.
Definitely.
Let me see here. Make sure I didn't miss any either. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's definitely unfinished business. I mean, I expect at least one more.
Did you see the when they had the press conferences with Goddard and a few of the guys that day? And the one question they asked nonstop was after Jalen Hurts getting paid, like, how did you feel about Jalen Hurts getting paid? And then the second question was like, I'm trying to like quote it the right way, but like, is he the same guy? Because these guys get paid, and sometimes there's a drop off in production when guys get paid.
Yeah.
In your eyes, like, what do you think? Like, the money means to Hurts versus like what we're going to see this year. Do you think it slows him down? Do you think? I mean, it's a stupid question, but I don't know why they were asking that question of, is the money going to change him? And certain
money changes a lot of guys. I mean, look back at Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, when he came out of college, do you remember all the things saying Carson was just a football junkie? All he did was study film. He'd go on a date with his girlfriend. He'd be studying film at dinner. Like, right. it was all that stuff. And then he got paid, and it was like he kind of checked out. That's what it felt like. He came in. He was Fat Man. Remember, I was calling him Fat Man. He couldn't move. He was fat, out of shape. I don't think Jalen Hurts is built like that. Like, Jalen Hurts wants to be a winner. He wants to win. He wants to be accomplished. I think there are very few guys like that, actually. I mean, I think Brady was one of them. I think there are a few. I think the money is great, but I think he wants to win and be a champion more than anything. I don't think it's going to be a problem with him.
No.
I think we lucked out. We lucked out with Jalen Hurts. We just did.
We did.
Where's the Van Ness chin bin? I don't know. We have to get that thing. That thing was huge.
Oh my God, that thing was funny. That video.
The funniest thing is, the videos of Joey with the Van Ness chin. That's why you're getting all them Y's now. It's that chin. Yeah, Woogie Wentz. I mean, I don't think Jalen's built. I honestly think when these guys say it's not changed him one iota, I believe it. I believe it. The other guys, I'm not sure of. I mean, I even remember when Donovan first came to the Eagles, he was a certain way. I remember people like you, Douglas, saying, he was a blue-collar quarterback. He wasn't like prima donna. Like, I remember Hugh Douglas, there was one of those NFL like films, and he's like saying that he's not a prima donna. He's a blue-collar guy. He's like every other player. Then you look at like later in his career, he wouldn't talk to the press, and he would only answer certain questions if they were given to him. Like he became kind of snobbish. You wonder if the money doesn't change these guys. But I don't think.
I think a little bit. I think it does a little bit in some aspects.
It has to. It has to on some level. It has to. but it depends where your priorities are. If your priority is that I've got to win, I want my legacy, I want to finish, I want people to know I was a world champion. If that matters to you, then you'll keep pursuing. If some guys feel like once they get paid and they make the money, whether they win or not, they've arrived, they've accomplished the goal. So it's just a matter of where you're at, So, this is a great question. Where is it? Been looking for Woogie. It's been 7 days. I know. I can't find Woogie either. Why do Calter fans say the most dumb things? That is such a great question that I've been trying to figure out myself. Like, I don't know. They live on planet Pluto. It's true. Celtics getting stomped right now. Good, because I hate the Celtics. I hate the Celtics with a passion. Your damn pigeons going crazy over Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis a bust. Why is Jordan Davis a bust? I don't know. You listen to Mark Holmes too much. Jordan Davis did not have a bad year. People act like he had a horrible year. You look at the effect he had on the Eagles' run game. It was like what, almost 13. What was it like? First half season was like 9 yards a carry difference when he was in the game. When he wasn't, he was very effective when he played. The problem was he got hurt, and then we were down him. Wasn't Milton Williams hurt too? And we had to go out and we had to sign Kelvin Joseph and Sue, not because they were bad players, but because they were hurt. And by the time they came back, you already had two other guys. It was just the way it worked. Jordan Davis is not a bust at all. Not at all. Adding Gilmore and Cooks, in my opinion, has elevated Cowboys over the Eagles. Why? I don't understand.
Give a reason why.
Cooks isn't better than either of the Eagles receivers.
We don't know what he looks like with Dak Prescott right now. Like, that's a whole other thing.
He's gonna be a deep threat. That's all they're gonna use him as. I bet you. Gilmore's good. I don't think Gilmore's good. It is bad, but I think the Eagles slay Bradbury and then Avonte Maddox. That's nasty. That's nasty. So I don't see how you could say.
Well, the Eagles offensively, they have more weapons to defend. It's not just one receiver. Like, that's the whole thing. The run game, it hurts running with the football in his hand. There's so much more that goes into that offense than just these regular matchups. It's more than that.
Yeah, Cooks can't stay healthy either. That's the other problem with him. I would much rather, if you say what receivers would you have, Cooks or Lamb or AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I'd take AJ Brown, Devontae Smith in a second.
100%.
Cooks is the number 3. Yeah,
that's not good.
I think you Cowboy fans are in for a rude awakening. Jordan Davis is the greatest athlete, literally behind just Calvin Johnson. He's a great athlete, and I'm relying on him being in good condition and his athletic ability. And I think he'll be fine. The one thing I know, I went back a few weeks ago and I just watched all his snaps. The one thing you notice is that oftentimes they have to double him, right? They double him a lot. And then when they don't double him, literally every time he's not doubled, he's pushing the offensive lineman back 4, 5, 6 yards. Mm-hmm. He's only going to get better and more effective. What's scary is that if he's taking on that double team all the time, and Jalen Carter has – are you going to double Jalen Carter or are you going to double Jordan Davis? That's the question.
Pick your poison, right?
Yeah. So, to me, it's a scary, scary defense. The Eagles will have the number 1 offense this year, I believe. I think the Eagles' offense is actually better than it was a year ago. Because the Eagles' offensive line is way better than Dallas' offensive line. That I don't even think that's a debate. Their tight end is better than Dallas's tight end. Their quarterback is better than Dallas's quarterback, and they've got a much deeper running back room than Dallas.
I think the running backs elevate this offense. I think it totally elevates even more. Better running back group than last year, but I think it elevates not even just for statistics, but now Jalen Hurts has less pressure on him, during games, and you don't have to QB sneak it all the time, and you have a different amount of different skill set backs to use in these games. And I'm excited for the running back course. Swift obviously is my favorite one. I'm excited for this year and can't wait to see what it looks like. So
yeah, House Nelson said, "Hey, 500, I don't have anything nice to say." That's okay. That's okay. Textbook says AJ Brown had like 8 yards against Washington that first game. Talk about shut down. CeeDee Lamb never was that trash. AJ Brown had 1,400 yards. You know who happened that game? Devontae Smith had what, like almost 200 yards catching in that Washington game. Remember the bomb at the half?
Yeah, and the 50-50 catch.
What are you talking about? That's the problem. You when you have 2 guys as good as them, when you have 2 number 1 receivers, not every week they're both going to have 9 catches each.
Right.
There's going to be weeks where AJ Brown has 10 catches and Devontae has 2, and then it's going to flip because they're both number 1 receivers. But at the end of the day, you got 2 receivers over 1,000 yards, and Devontae Smith is the better receiver. Not only this, here's the thing that people forget about Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. They're totally different type receivers. They're not the same receivers. They're very complementary. AJ Brown is big, physical, yards after catch. Devontae Smith is, I think, has better hands, and he's a pure route runner. So you have 2 different type of receivers. They're pretty hard to defend when you got that going at you.
That's the thing. They look at it as if, oh, well, against this team, he did, against nothing. In this matchup, he did nothing. But who had the bigger game, though? That's why you had 2 1,000-yard receivers and a 1,000-yard running back this past year.
Right. Look, yeah. Colts Cowboys. Thank you for super chat, my man. He goes, I believe Dak will have a very improved season. I'm sure you do. I'm sure
improved. Improved like.
So what? Like 14 interceptions instead of 15?
Well, I'm not even trying to say it as a joke, but it's just like, you want him to improve, or do you want him to be lights out? Like, he's got to do more than just improve this year, man.
I don't think Dak is a horrible quarterback.
No,
but I don't think Dak has shown he can win. Like, what gets me about Dak Prescott is that I know that if Dak Prescott played in Philly, or if he played in New York, he would get killed. Like, he would have so much pressure on him because the fans wouldn't be making the excuses Cowboy fans make year after year after year after year after year. This guy does not win in the playoffs. He does not get you. We have a quarterback that played in the second time in the playoffs. He got to the Super Bowl. Well, your guy can't get out of the second round. At what point does Dallas, do those fans put that on him? At what point do they hold him responsible?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because even getting rid of their offensive coordinator this past year, now McCarthy's calling the plays. They're probably going to be, I think when the Cowboys were really successful with Dak was when they used him as a runner. That, I think, early in his career, when they used him as a runner with Zeke and a really good running back by his side, I think he played really well and then balanced out the pass with that. Do you really trust Dak Prescott with the game on his shoulders?
No, I don't think he's shown he can win those kind of games.
It's not, and I'm not talking trash. Like, can you actually really put the game on his shoulders?
The guy ran a quarterback sneak with no timeouts left and 14 seconds left in the game. All right. I mean, come on. And McCarthy has won 1 Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's the biggest choker of them all. To me, I thought Dak was at his best the year they had when they had Gallup was still healthy, and they had what's his face that went to Cleveland.
Cooper.
They had some weapons there, and they still had a pretty good offensive line and decent run game, and he was pretty good. But then they got rid of all his weapons. Gallup got hurt, and now I don't know that they're the same. And to me, the Eagles have done more to give weapons around their quarterback than the Cowboys.
100%.
Like I said, I think the Cowboys are 1 move away. Like, I think they are that AJ Brown move away from really competing with the Eagles. That's just my opinion. But we're gonna have to play the game to find out. That's the only way we'll find out.
Right.
Island Philly fan David super chat. He says, "Good evening, bros. Mark Holmes is getting worried that the Cowboys may need market for Woogie. Be in the market for Woogie. That would be. I would love nothing more to see Carson Wentz take over for the Dallas Cowboys. Boy, that would. I would love it." Israel Rocha Rico, David super chat. He goes, "What up? Love y'all. Love seeing these podcasts. Do we think the Eagles should run in for a veteran receiver or just a good receiver or keep Quez on third string? Thank you, Israel, for the super chat, man. We appreciate it. My thought is I would like to see them bring in another wide receiver and not get rid of Quez, but let him compete. Have three-way competition for that slot receiver, with him. Was it Zacchaeus, whoever that kid's name is from Atlanta that they got, and then whoever else they bring in. I'd like to see a competition and then let the best man win. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, and I think depth at wide receiver definitely needs to get better than, a lot better than Devin Allen and what's his face that plays special teams, Covey. Give these guys a chance like Jaden Hazelwood. Some of the guys that play with Jalen Hurts, even Charleston Rambo, he made the tryout, which is good. I mean, he might be nothing but a practice squad guy at the end of the day, but you never, like he said, you never know what could happen at these training camp and joint practices, and a guy that maybe elevates himself. So, not saying that they don't like Quez, not saying that he won't play at all. I think I think they like Quez. I think he's going to play this year. But yeah, it's going to be a battle, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus says Tony Pollard is better than any running back on the Eagles roster. We'll see if Pollard could be healthy coming back from injury, first of all. Second of all, even if that was to be true, which I don't think it will be by the end of the year, when Pollard can't take every snap, the Eagles off running back is their depth in the running back is what's great. Plus, they have a better offensive line to run behind.
Yeah, it's true.
Philly 500. Who's going to stop CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup? Good luck. I'll tell you who's going to stop them. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and Avonte Maddox. Done. Sorry, buddy. Because that's all it'll take. Brandon. You act like Brandon Cook is a big threat. Are we crazy? And Gallup has got to show that he's back from injury. Because Gallup looked horrible last year, and I know that it takes, a whole year to come back from that injury. I tried to tell you Cowboy fans last year, so I think he'll be a little bit better. But and Cooks, what? How often does Cook stay healthy? So we'll see. We'll see.
How they draw him up in that offense is going to be interesting too. Like, it's because it's going to affect CD as well. It's going to affect him that now you have a number 2 now, and if you see Cooks as a number 2, and it's gonna affect if they throw to it, depending on how they throw to him. And
Dallas will throw. Dallas will throw. I guarantee. Dallas is going to throw 45, 50 times a game. They're going to throw like a ton because Mike McCarthy does not like to run the ball. They're going to forget Pollard even out there. They're going to become one-dimensional. This is going to be a problem. Mark my words. Dallas will become pass heavy, and it won't work for them. Just won't. I'm not scared of any of the receivers. Right? I see Lamb's a good one. I think he's good, but Cooks and Gallup do not scare me at all. At all. I would be much more scared of Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert, to be honest with you. So, I don't know. Cooks is going to be good in certain situations. Like, I think he could be a good deep threat for them. But I don't know, man.
He's had 6 1,000-yard seasons. It's not that. I think I think Cooks could still play. I think he could still play. Like, back when he played, like, I don't know, like when he was with, back when he was with like in New Orleans, like he was dangerous during those times, like a while.
Yeah, he was, but that's a long time ago. Look at the last few years. What's he really done? What did he do last year with Houston? He wanted out the whole year.
Yeah,
I think Cooks is decent. I think he's okay. He doesn't scare me. You're not talking about the Eagles literally are throwing out 2 number 1s. 2 number 1s. You can't say that about Dallas. They're not as threatening as those 2 guys. And then you look at having Dallas Goedert. That's a whole nother dimension. Dallas just lost their tight end, dude. They lost him.
True.
I do agree, Marcus. I think Cooks is an upgrade from Noah Brown and Gilmore's better. I do agree with that. But just because they're an upgrade doesn't mean it's enough. Do you know what I mean? It's not enough. It's not DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
would have been that.
It's an upgrade within their team, but it's not promising you a Super Bowl ring.
It's not an upgrade to compete with the Eagles. You're still playing catch up. What I'm saying is, if the Eagles were 40 steps ahead, now they're only 42 steps ahead because the Eagles gained traction on you guys. But they didn't catch up to the Eagles because of Cooks, because he's better than Noah Brown. The Eagles are still better. Calls Cowboy. You all downfall. Believe me, you're going to be calling for a new quarterback.
Oh, everyone said we were going to have our downfall before free agency happened. We had 11, 12 free agents on defense. Everyone, we can't re-sign guys. We can't bring guys in. The Eagles have no cap space. Our downfall was before free agency happened. Look what happened. And I know everything's on paper right now, but you got to stop. You got to stop doing this too much because
Philly Shakes 572. Look at that thumbnail.
Guys are dumb.
Damn 500. You give more time to Dallas Trolls than Eagles. I'm sorry. I just get it just builds up and I get frustrated with it. And I have to go at it. I try. It just builds up, man. Marky says the last time Cook seen the Eagles, he was laid out Super Bowl with Patriots. Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins says hello. Jeez. Jason says, ignoring Eagle fans for these hate Cowboy fans. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason Reese. I don't mean to do that. Obviously, I don't mean to do it. But it just builds up. I have to get it out of my system. Let me see. Let me try to find Eagle fans to make sure that I'm giving them the proper attention. Cooks is a downgrade from Amari Cooper, and they couldn't get it done with Cooper. Good point. I agree with that. Well, is Cooper still in Cleveland?
Yeah.
He's still in Cleveland?
I think so.
Yeah. Nah, we don't block people here.
He was another Cooper was another one that was hurt. Even before he got to the Cowboys with the Raiders, he was injury prone as well. It's another guy.
Yeah, and he's another guy that comes up in the
certain
December games. He just disappears.
Yeah. Right.
He just totally disappears. Buzzology says CD Lamp. I like that. Doesn't scare anyone. I agree. Let's see. Oh, God. I really want to answer this one comment, but if I do, I'll get throttled, so I can't answer it. Philly D says, Dallas fans are literally say the best talent, then turn around, Dak needs more weapons. They do that every year. Every year they think they're going to win. They'll turn on Dak after week 3. You watch. Linda says, notice how Dallas Trolls talk about everything except going to the Super Bowl. I hope they keep that same energy when they're sitting on the couch this year. That's why Buzzology calls them the Couch Boys.
It's true. I think like the division is all they really care about. Beating the Eagles, too. It's like the really important thing. Like I never hear nothing else. Like nothing else more. But
I don't know what the Eagles 35. They ride tandem bikes with no seat with the whiners and talk about the pre-tweet. Oh yeah, they do. Them and the Niners. Talk about the Niners, the whiners. I agree. 500, where do you get a hat? Looks like fire. I got this on the Eagles website, the Eagles shopping, Eagles shop thing. There's a little store. Eagles will break the no-repeat NFC champ for 20 years curse. I agree with you. I think they break it this year too. I actually do. I'll tell you my early season prediction. I think it's a Super Bowl repeat. I think we're going to see the Eagles Chiefs in a repeat Super Bowl. I really think that's what we're going to see. Let's see here. I'm trying to get Eagle fans, so I don't want to piss them off. Tony says, Cowboys trash talk goes like this. We beat the Eagles in a regular season. Heard their... Yeah, exactly. Let's see. This is. Are you? What planet have you? Have you even been to any Cowboys content creators? Like, dude, Mark Holmes literally does like 7 videos a day on the Eagles. What are you talking about? That's all you guys ever do is talk about the Eagles. Then when I come and defend the Eagles, or we stick up and speak about the Eagles, you guys cry about it. But you go look at Mark Holmes. Literally, I have pages where I got pictures where it's every video is about the Eagles. So stop it. That's just not true. You know? Cowboy fans, with all the smack talk, they better watch out for the Giants. They are catching the Eagles, but they could catch the Cow Turds. They're not catching the Eagles. Yeah. The Giants are, I think the Giants had a really good draft. I thought the draft was really good. I just think that when it comes to the Giants, I don't think they did enough offensively either to compete with the Eagles. Like, I mean, are you really scared about their, I know they got Waller, but are you really scared about the Giants offense? I'm not.
No,
they don't scare me.
They don't have. You paid your quarterback, and I don't know what you're putting really around him. They didn't really put. I mean, I don't know what's to be scared of that offense. I really don't. Offensive line help is diminished too. Another year of no offensive line help. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. What is this? You all see me? Yeah, I see you. I see you. What's up? How are you? Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. I see. This is the first time I saw your thing, though. But thank you for coming. Appreciate it. I didn't see anything he posted before that. Let's see here. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl too. Yeah, and we're going to win it this time too. Jalen Hurts is a one-hit wonder, in your opinion? What?
Are you?
What is your opinion based on? Like,
yeah, it's a statement.
We haven't even played yet this year. Let's see.
It's a statement.
I don't think Jalen Hurts has gotten better every year. You know, I mean, that's all you could ask for a quarterback. He gets better every year. JD Koch, what's up? He goes, "What up, guys? Maybe how he prioritizes a punt returner for one of them. I would love to see a returner. I would absolutely love to see them go get another returner. You know, no doubt about it. Oh, Joey, this is for you. Joey, can I have my wife back yet? I haven't seen her since the NFL draft." Yo, Joey, what are you doing with his wife? I guess that look Joey's giving you is no, you ain't getting her back. That was that look. We are going to have a fun season. Whether you're an Eagle fan, Cowboy fan, you got to love the rivalry. It's going to be fun, man. We're going to have a fun year. It's going to be interesting, you know. We'll see. We'll see what excuses the Cowboy fans have about Dak Prescott when he fails them again. You know, that we'll see. She's under the desk. So, Joey, would you take $20,000 each season for the Eagles to miss the playoffs? No. Jalen's historic performance in Super Bowl says your opinion of him being a one-hit wonder is shit. The only reason Hurts didn't win was because he didn't get the ball back enough. Like, dude, that penalty cost us the Super Bowl. I believe if the Eagles get that ball back down 3, 1 minute and 40 whatever seconds left, I believe they win the game. I believe they win that game. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think the Eagles are going to be I think we're going to be rolling this year again. I think we got a weaker conference. I think we've taken steps ahead of the Cowboys and the rest of the division. I also think that I don't trust the 49ers. 49ers have the roster that to me could compete, but I don't know that they got the quarterback. You have to have a quarterback. Let me see here. Will Dak have every second pass intercepted again? Probably. Anyways, we got 462 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been a lot of fun. But geez, we're an hour and a half in. I'm sure Joey wants to get some rest.
I'm good.
I'm tired, boss. I'm tired.
Long couple days for me, definitely.
Yeah, it builds up, and Philly 500 has to explode. Pause. It does, because you listen. See, thing is people see us and we come on here, we talk, right? But every video you do when you're constantly deflecting Cowboy comment after comment after comment after comment after comment, and then you come in a situation like this, it's like boom, you got to let it out. Cole's Cowboys, thank you for the super chat, appreciate it. Says, will you guys stream the NFC Championship banner dropping and ring ceremony? That'll be probably like right before a game or halftime. So I'll be streaming the game. I don't know how much they'll show of it, but
is that a joke? It sounded like more of a joke than it was a question.
Probably a joke, but it's a joke probably.
You're a funny guy.
But I'm thinking about the championship, that world championship's coming this year. We're going back to the Super Bowl. Just get used to it. The Eagles are going back to the Super Bowl. And we're winning it. I think we play Kansas City in the Super Bowl repeat, and we win this one. That's what I think. But we'll see. I know one team that won't be putting up a banner or having any ring ceremony. In Dallas, they won't be doing any of that.
It's something, right?
It's something. I mean, just think about it. Your quarterback. What? 2 years in, 3 years in. He's already done more than Dak Prescott in 8 years. He's already done more than him. Our quarterback, Jalen Hurts, is more accomplished than Dak Prescott. Think about that. That's the truth. Logan says, my Super Bowl prediction is Eagles versus Bengals. Oh, I like that. That would be a hell of a Super Bowl. That'd be a hell of a. I kind of want Kansas City though. I want revenge on them.
Same.
Jason says, what does the Cowboys understand about NFC? They don't understand. They just know it's something they watch on their VCR. It's going to be interesting. Anyways, I guess that's pretty much it, though. I mean, is there anything else to say, really, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, it's been quiet. I mean, there's really nothing until camp. I mean, until we, June 1st, that could be an area where things could happen. Rumors might show up with some trades, or free agents will sign after that time or something like that. But I think something will be there. I think we could find another 1 to 2 moves that Howie Roseman could pull off for this roster before training camp starts. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I do too. And everybody hit that like button. Let's go over 200 likes a leak before we get out of here. But no, thank you guys so much for being here. Sorry we had to do this a day late this week, but things had to happen and get done. And we look forward to June 1st cuts coming. And I truly believe Howie's got at least one significant move up his sleeve, because the last few years in around June, he's found significant players that have contributed greatly to this team. And I think it's still going to happen. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So, it's been fun, Marcus. Thank you. Todd says, I bet love making VCRs in Texas still. They still do. Silox says, trade for Bijan. No need to anymore. We've got DeAndre Swift. We got our running back. I'm perfectly happy.
Yeah, I'm
with that.
Yeah.
James says, where's the blow up at 500? What time mark? What do you mean blow up? I didn't blow up, I don't think. But I just started answering comments. That's all. 500, your banner is crooked. Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's because I knocked it into it. My bad. This thing's coming down. I got to get this. I got this flag I got to get up this week. I keep saying I'm going to do it. And my wife keeps saying, you got to go drill a bunch of stuff in. And I'm like, I know. And I keep forgetting to do it. Like, there's all this stuff I have to go hang.
You got to drill some stuff. It's good.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm going to make some babies tonight. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, I know Joey knows all about drilling, but he's doing extra professional wife healer, right? Is that what they call you? A professional wife healer? Jay goes, great stream, guys. I guess it's back to watching Jimmy Buckets. Yeah, Jimmy Buckets. I get so sick watching him because he should be a Sixer, but At least if he could beat Boston, I'll root for him to win the whole thing. But yeah, guys, we're gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much. Make sure if you haven't, click the like, subscribe on the way out, and we'll be back next week, no doubt about it. We'll have videos all week, I'm sure. Tomorrow's Monday, so we're right back at it. And with that said, yeah, we're gonna let you guys get out of here by always going out with the Cowboys choke job. Get ready for another one this year. Peace.
Peace.
More play. We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
gotta
me.
be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What you doing?
running from
What you doing?
To get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more play.
We had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way
We had opportunity.